Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. I'm going to stop right there, okay? But you guys, I'm going to show you something really cool, okay? And we're going to do yoga too, okay? But there's something really cool behind me, and it's not my butt, okay? Are you ready? So I'm really excited to show you the first Stronger Yoga Academy yoga mat. And I opted to make a surfboard design because, people just go on and on about yoga and flexibility. One of the most important things that we gain from our yoga practice, especially through the Stronger method, is stability. Stability and poise and balance and grace. It takes power to be graceful, I like to say. So I had Big Raven make me a yoga mat has a surfboard on it, so that we're always trying to remember that we're trying to go with the flow, we're trying to balance, and we're trying to have fun and enjoy ourselves, right? So this is it. I hope you want to get one for yourself. Like I said, there's a link down in the description, or you can go to Big Raven Yoga. And just one more secret, okay, that I want to tell you, and then we're going to jump into a really fun stability practice, okay? What does that S stand for, okay? You're going to guess stronger, right? And that's wrong. And it's not Scott either, okay? It's not even stability. That S is for sexy. Yes, yoga will make you sexy, right? I know that I'm in the top, 100,000 sexiest yoga teachers in the country. Definitely in the top 100,000 for sure, all right? But when you think two things, if you're going this plus this equals this, you would think yoga plus sexy equals Gary Busey, right? Of course you would think that. I get it. Everybody, roll out whatever crappy, uncolorful, uncool yoga mat that you have that may or may not have soft cloth fabric on the top and compostable, beautiful rubber underneath. This thing is beautiful. This is like a freaking Escalade of yoga mats. So if you do have one of these bad boys, we're going to hang 10. Point your toes straight forward. Take a deep breath. Reach both hands up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Lift your left leg up. Breathe in. Step it back. Reach your right hand to the sky. Look up for your right thumb. As you exhale, reach down and pivot your body 90 degrees to the left, okay? So now your chest is over the long edge of your mat in front of your toes. We're going to leave right fingertips on the floor like we're about to hike a football at a scrimmage line. And reach your left hand up. Look up for your left thumb. And while you're reaching up with your left thumb, push a little bit harder into your left foot without letting your right knee bend. Okay, that's all just going to help your rotation. Reach down and turn back to the top of your mat. And we're slowly going to rise up into Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. I'm sorry. This really is a legitimate practice. This is not a long fucking infomercial, although it feels like that, right? I'll stop. I'm sorry. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, pull your elbows down and turn to your right. Make sure you can't see your left arm. If you're swinging your left arm forward, you're trying to gain trunk rotation here at the shoulder, the left shoulder capsule, okay? I'm not turning my chest. So we want to press those forearms back, tighten the belly, straighten the back leg, and turn. Reach up, face forward, plant your hands and step to the top. Hands on the knees, breathe in. You're going to flatten your back first. Exhale, touch the floor, look between your legs. Rise up, breathe in. Let's do the other side. Exhale, fold forward. Right leg lifts, breathe in. Exhale, step back. Reach your left hand up, pull the hips down, but keep your back leg straight. Really press down into the ball of your right foot. Look up for your left thumb. Tighten your belly off your left thigh. Take a deep breath. Reach down. Pivot to the right, 90 degrees. And now my toes are pointing at the long edge of the mat to the right of the top. I'm going to leave my left hand on the floor and reach up with the right hand. For those of you that actually practice at Stronger Yoga Academy, you know the more advanced techniques. I'm going to stick to the basics today. Reach up with your right hand while you push into your right foot. So you're trying to push your hips away from the back edge of your mat where your right foot is and push more weight into your left foot. But keep that left leg straight. Reach down, turn back to the top of your mat. Point all toes forward. I can't help it. I'm going to do it one more time. Stand up. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. And the reason why is when people stand up in a lunge, they're always doing this. And that's because they've forgotten and just need to remind the right set of muscles that stability comes from the feet up. Okay, so you really have to think about your feet. And that means that when I take my hands off the floor, usually we're pushing into the forefoot of the front foot. That means I could lift my heel pretty much. So what you want to think about doing is taking your hands off the floor, and while your hands are going up, push into your left heel, that's the front one, and lift the back heel. Try that and tell me you don't come up with more stability, all right? Pull the elbows down, press the forearms back, tighten the belly, and slowly turn to your left. Make sure you can't see that right arm swinging in front of your peripheral vision. Press the forearms back and turn from the trunk. Reach up and face the front. Reach down and step forward. Half lift, hands on knees, flatten the back. Reach down, touch the floor, look between your legs as you exhale. Spring through the heels, a little bend in the knees as you rise up. Hands to your heart. Now that's a great salutation to help loosen up your back and your hips. I'm going to show you a different way if stepping forward is a little bit more easier for you. I showed you the step back first for people that have trouble through the hips, or it's just easier to step back than step forward, okay? But let's do the same salutation and incorporate some pushing muscles and more of the chaturanga type of stuff, all right? So I'm going to place my fingertips on the floor and step both feet back. So my feet are on the surfboard, my hands are on the water, and from here, I'm going to bend the knees and push the hips back. Looking down at the center of the mat, pressing the heart back towards the feet. Now here's that same salutation where we can incorporate push-ups and things that helps us develop upper body. Right leg lifts, exhale, step forward. Right hand reaches up. Reach down, pivot to your left. Right hand remains on the floor. Left hand reaches for the ceiling. Push into the left foot. Reach down and turn back to the top of your mat. Now practice that technique. As the hands come up, so does the back heel, and the front foot's heel pushes down. Reach both hands up, breathe in. Pull the elbows down, tighten the belly, turn to the right. Reach up, face forward. Exhale, plant the hands. Now we can step back and touch the chest to the floor. Push and press. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step forward. Reach your left hand up. Take a deep breath. Exhale, reach down. Pivot to the right, 90 degrees, turning on your feet. Left hand on the floor. Right hand reaches for the ceiling, turning the chest to the right and pushing harder into the right foot. The left leg doesn't bend as a result. Reach down. Turn back to the top. Reach both hands up. Pull the elbows down. Tighten the belly. Turn to the left. Reach up and face forward. Plant the hands. Step back. You're trying to touch your nipples to the floor, not your groin. Push, press. Bend the knees. Take a deep breath. We're going to do one more set, and I'm going to show you that from the side cam, okay? Lift your right leg up. Step forward. Right hand high, breathe in. Reach down, pivot left. Left hand reaches up for the ceiling, right hand on the floor. Reach down, turn back to the top. Reach both hands up, breathe in. Pull the elbows down, tighten the belly, turn to the right. Reach up, face forward. Plant the hands. Step back, nipples to the thumbs. Groin doesn't touch the floor. Push up, press back. Left leg lifts. Step through. Left hand high, breathe in. Reach down, turn right. Right hand reaches for the ceiling, left fingertips on the floor. Reach down, turn back to the top of your mat. Reach both hands up, breathe in. Pull the elbows down, belly tight, turn left. Reach up, face forward, plant the hands as you exhale. Step back, nipples to the floor. Push and press. Lower your knees, sit to your heels. Before we move back into our practice, a different sort of module of our practice, as it were. We're moving from sun salutations, which is vigorous movement, and incorporating breath to movement so that we better oxygenate the blood and send all that oxygenated blood to every single corner of all the muscle cells. But now our body's prepared for harder work because we've loaded the muscles with oxygenated blood. So let's develop a practice from that that's going to help us be more stable and sexy. Lift your butt, step your right foot forward, curl your left toes under. Let's go to the side. Let's go to the side, God dang it. And then push into the ball of your left foot and straighten the back leg. Reach both hands up. Slide your thumbs over your ears and spread your fingers over your skull. Bring your elbows in close to your nose and then begin to lift the heart with the center of your back. You're not trying to go back, guys. You're trying to go up. And as you go up with the heart, push down into the right foot without your right leg straightening at the knee. Keep that lunge in the right knee. And slowly bring it forward. I'm going to take my left hand and place it just kind of catty corner to the right foot. Left leg lifts slowly. Now, if we want to incorporate more balance and stability, we're just going to take the hand off the floor. And if you can, place the hand on the inside of your right calf. And then reach your right hand to the ceiling. Turn your chest. And as you turn your chest to the right, make sure that left leg and hip isn't sinking or sagging. We're trying to keep the left hip and left leg elevated while we turn to the right. Reach down, step left foot next to right, hands on knees, back is flat. Touch the mat, look behind you, breathe out. Little bend in the knees and spring through the heels, rising up with a nice little hinge pattern in the hips. All right, standing half lotus. Now this is a way where we can give the glute sort of a break, stretch it out, and we don't have to sort of lie down in a pigeon position to get access to that stretch our butt wants. Ankle to the thigh. Squat down. Hands at the heart. Now try to lift the right knee up towards your armpit. Point the right big toe at the baseboard to your left. Press your chest against your shirt. Push your butt against your pants. Now you can keep lowering the chest, but you are trying to maintain collarbones away from hip bones. You're trying to keep your back as straight as you can. That's going to put more tension on your posterior lines. Release. Plant the right foot. Reach up with both hands. Exhale, fold forward. Left leg lifts, and we're going to step it back. And then I'm going to turn my left heel down flat so that the outer edge of my left foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. I'm going to stand up and turn to you. You beautiful son of a bitch. How are you? Reach your hands out away from your heart. Warrior two. Open up your hands like you're about to give the world a hug, because fuck, doesn't it need it? Don't you wish you could hug the world right now and go, it's going to be all right. I know. I love to just hold warrior two. I love to hold triangle, not only because longer holds really suit these positions, but also it's just a great opportunity for you to stop and feel your body and feel what's happening, especially balance-wise, okay? So imagine you were on a surfboard. This would look a whole lot different, right? And maybe you do that paddleboard yoga, right? That's fun. I got a paddleboard and I love to practice balancing and doing yoga poses on it, because you can't be certain, right, with waves and how your body's going to respond. With the floor is pretty reliable, right? If you want to make it less reliable to work on stability, you can place pillows underneath your feet. That'll help. Take one more breath, guys. Reach forward and place your elbow on your knee. Reach up and over with your left hand. Come into extended side angle. Now I could rest my elbow on my knee. I could even, look at this, I'm going to just rest my face on my shoulder. This is what half-ass yoga looks like. And we don't do half-ass yoga. We do all-ass yoga, 100% ass yoga. So we're going to lengthen and straighten. I could even take my elbow off of my knee because I'm using my core strength to hold me in place. And as soon as I do that, you're going to feel your right leg working so much harder than if you come into sort of like a half resting position. All right? So see if you can take that elbow off the knee. In fact, let's take this right hand and reach for the left toes. I have an incredible gift for pissing people off and frustrating them by just talking endlessly and endlessly about a yoga pose. But what we are trying to do, guys, is not just do a bunch of yoga poses, but to do targeted yoga poses and to do them long enough that the body gets stronger, not just more flexible. Reverse it. Take a deep breath. And we're out of there. Cartwheel your hands. Step back. Turn your heels to your left. And reach up with your right hand, side plank. And try to push your hips up into the air. You're going to have to let your knees bend. Try to keep your feet flat on the floor. You can always move your feet. Try to imagine the biggest dog you can think of trying to walk underneath you, and it sheds like a mother, okay? So you're trying to lift your hips so that you can keep that dog from shedding on you. Plant your right hand. Push your heart back, look straight down. If your mat was a mirror, you'd be looking to your own eyes going, you are a badass. So just pretend your mat's a mirror and tell yourself, no one's around, you're doing yoga at home, okay? The only one that's seeing this, or seeing anybody doing this, is they're watching me, and I'm not afraid to be weird. You're a badass. And you're such a cutie too. Lift your left leg up. Step through. Reach both hands up. And if you wobble, one thing you can also do as far as pressure in the feet, right? Just bounce. Just bounce. Because your body knows how to move. It's much better at movement than it is at being still. So if you bounce and move, your stabilizers start to engage, and then you can just take that bouncy, your own little bouncy castle in your butt, and slow it down till you're still. Slide your thumbs over your ears. Wrap your fingers around your skull. Hold your elbows close to your nose. Look up. Take the tension out of your neck. Don't push your head into your hands. Let your hands hold your head the way your pillow holds your head when you lie it down at night. Push the heart up with the spine. You're going up all the way from the ball of your right foot, lifting the right heel, driving through the ball of the foot, and driving your heart upwards. And release. Right hand reaches for the floor. And I lift the right leg. I'm lifting from the inside of the thigh, not the outside of the hip. If your hip is rising, that's because your glute is trying to do double duty. It causes extension, that's your leg lifting, and it also helps rotate the hip. We want to focus purely on the extension aspect. Point the right toes at the wall behind you. Reach your left hand up to the left. You can place your right hand, right palm, on your inner calf if you can balance with just your left foot. Take a deep breath. Reach down, step forward, hands on the knees, flatten your back. Exhale, you can round it out, fingertips on the floor. I usually cue that instead of grab your ankles, pull. Rise up. Hands at your heart. We don't necessarily always want to pull ourselves into stretch. We want to teach the muscles on the opposite side of where we want to stretch to fire. Plant the right foot, left ankle to the thigh. Now I've cued this a lot of ways, this standing half lotus position that I love with this practice. But for right now, we're going to go hands to the heart, okay? We've got a growing library of yoga classes, and they're full of great information and not a whole lot of profanity, but you know, I can't help it sometimes. I get excited. Collarbones forward, butt cheeks back, right knee lunges, left knee lifts towards the armpit or the sternum. Release. Plant the left foot, hands reach up high, invite a deep breath. Hinge forward, touch the floor, lift your right leg, step it back, and then turn the right heel down. So I'm stepping the arch of my foot onto the center stripes. Stand up in warrior two. Hands reach away from the heart. Flip the palms up. And one thing to think about, rather than turning palm down, looking over that second finger, squeeze, this is not judo, okay? So squeezing your fingers together is not going to express the muscles in your forearm like opening up your hand. And if our palm is up, we're also causing this rotation here through the arm all the way to the shoulder that is going to help us put the shoulder blade on the back. So here I'm going to go palms up, thumbs point behind me, and I'm really medially rotated through the arms. And you can see as a result, let's go to the back. So now I come to neutral, right? And now my shoulders go, okay, that's good. But if I keep rotating the palms and opening up the hands, now I've got my shoulder blades on my back. My chest wants to expand and move to the front of me, right? We're back into that giving the damn world a big ass hug kind of a move, right? Instead of like, I'm going to dominate and I'm going to make people see things my way. Ugh! Palms up. Deep breath. Good to be alive. Reach forward, elbow to knee. Now what I'm trying to do is stack shoulder, elbow, knee, ankle, right? And then right hand reaches up, rotate the palm, reach over. And again, we don't want this right side that you can see as you're gazing at my back. We don't want to be round. We want to be really straight, but not being rigid. So I'm going to take this right hand, and instead of trying to touch the floor in front of me, I'm going to try to touch the top of the wall. And then I'm going to take that left hand back. And now, when I hold that isometric contraction in my left leg to hold me up, man, it's burning. You smell that? Oh, something's burning. That's a good thing. Reverse it, guys. Take your right hand behind your back, reach your left hand up. Take one big deep breath here. Exhale, cartwheel your hands back to your mat. Plant your hands, left foot steps back. The heels turn to the right. My chest turns to the left. And you can always step your feet an inch or two closer to your right hand. You can step your hand a little bit closer to your feet. Your knees can be bent here, okay? So rather than this one, in which I'm already putting myself in a position where there's too much pressure on the wrist, and my body is just, the only thing it's doing is trying not to hit the floor, all right? But it's not rising. It's just not falling. So what we can do is step those feet in, let the knees bend, get your feet flat on the floor, and push your hips off of the floor. Now we're tightening that side body the same way we do in our reverse warrior. We're getting a nice lateral stretch, nice lateral flexion. My right side tightens so that I can lift my right hip and keep that damn dog from shedding on me. Plant your left hand, rotate the heels, push back, bend the knees, crouching cat. Can't do it wrong. Joan in Seattle, you're doing great. Keep it up. Look at your mat like it was a mirror. Find your own eyes. And tell yourself you're pretty. You're pretty, Scott. And it's okay to be a boy and be pretty. Take one more deep breath. And slowly lower your knees onto your mat, onto your surfboard, and sit to your heels. And now we've returned to that transition position where we can appreciate all the work we've done right here in Hero's Pose. If you got on your mat and if you produced a drop of sweat, you're your own hero, guys. In fact, we are our only hope for a hero. Take a deep breath. It feels good to express the body and try to express the body's strength. It's invigorating. It is clarifying. And it's cleansing. Let's transition to a seated position. I sound drunk, but I'm not. Let's transition. Step the knees forward, cross at the ankles, and plant your feet flat. Now, I'm going to give you one more rough thing to think about today. Place your hands on the floor right here next to your hips, fingers pointing forward. Spread your fingers, grip your mat, rawr, like you're going to tear 10 holes in it, okay? Use your tiger claws and lift your butt off the floor, but don't thrust it into the air. Just get your butt off of your mat, all right? Bend your elbows and straighten them. Yeah, that's a tricep dip. You're welcome. And if you want to make it harder, then you lift your left leg. And if you want to work really hard, send your left foot left so that the weight shifts to your left, and take your right hand off of your mat and keep doing your tricep dip on your left arm. Then you can plant your hand. You don't have to stop. Plant your foot. You still haven't stopped, right? Lift your right foot. Float it to the right. Weight shifts to the right hand. I can take my left hand off the floor and I can raise the roof, yo. And you millennials, that was a big deal back in the day. Plant your hand, plant your foot. Let's just do a few more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your butt. That was nice. Fold your legs in front of you. I want you to take your hands, reach out in front of you. Cross at the elbow. Right arm is above the left. Bend the elbows and see if you can't grab that other wrist or place fingertips into palm. If you can't get fingers to the other hand, grab your opposite shoulders and give yourself the hug you deserve. Either way, hands on shoulders or palm to palm. Bow forward. Rise up. Release those arms. Switch your legs. Hands reach out. Left arm over the right. Elbows bent. Fingertips to palms. Hinge forward. Forearms on the floor. Try to press your heart to your elbows and squeeze the light air and space from under your armpits. Release. Place your right hand on the floor and just reach your left hand up. Place your left hand on the top of your head. Your fingers will be on the right side of your head. And then just lower the right ear to the right shoulder. Your right hand is trying to push you left. Release. And let's break that down again very carefully. Left hand on the floor, right hand on the top of your head. And when I let my fingers rest on my skull, my right fingers are tapping the left side of my head. Okay? So as I lift the right elbow, I'm going to push right ear to right shoulder, and I'm going to try to push myself to the right with my left hand. And that's going to push your weight over to your right sitting bone. Release. Place your left hand on your right knee, right hand on your sacrum. Sit up tall and proud, and turn to your right. Look over your right shoulder. Release, and place your right hand on your left knee, your left hand on your sacrum. Lift your heart. Be dignified, noble, brave, courageous. Be a yoga badass. Lift your heart, tighten your belly. Release. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you have the time, please lie down and rest in Shavasana. And if you prefer, as I do, then just sit and spend a few moments in meditation. If we can meditate for a minute, and everybody can, don't tell yourself you can't, then we can do 2. Then it'll be 10. And it's like learning the secrets about your purpose, right? It's getting clarity. And at first it comes as a glance, like something moving out of the corner of your eye. And then it becomes a glimpse. And then it becomes a gaze. Thank you guys so much for practicing. Please leave me a like, but make it authentic, right? Don't leave me a like if you didn't like it. If there was a dislike button, you could hit that, and I wouldn't be mad at you, right? A lot of times I roll out my yoga mat and I practice. I'm like, fuck, I did not like how hard that was. Anyway, thanks for being here. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your trust in me to watch this video and guide you through your practice today. I hope you'll subscribe, hit the notification bell if you always want to be notified when I drop new content, and we drop new content every single week. Thank you guys for being here, and bless you. Namaste.